شكور يا الله. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك. لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Some of the things that have been done recently by the Saudi government to facilitate ease for the Hajj, those who are making the pilgrimage, to make it more comfortable and efficient and certainly safer. And one of the things that I think has been a problem for so many years, and then this problem was recently solved, was the problem of people being injured and even killed while trying to stone the Jamarat. Have you heard about that?
Well, actually, in 2004, my first trip there, on the day of the Jamarat, on the day people were just stoning those Jamarat with pebbles and everything, about 286 people died in a stampede, one of the biggest stampedes ever in the history of Hajj. 286 people died on that day, and I was there actually. I witnessed a lot of that stuff, and on that day I really felt very close to death. I was like, subhanAllah, after the experience was over, I felt like I'm like a newborn or something. This how bad it was, and subhanAllah, it's to question, how can the government let this happen? I can imagine if the Hajj was organized by some European country or by the US, it would have been extremely different. And subhanAllah, just 1 year later, they avoided that and they started doing a huge project. And on my following Hajj, when I made it in 2007, and then 2009, it was already taken care of. And it was very smooth process.
Actually, you're hitting the numbers right on the head. I didn't remember which year it was because, if you keep going each year, you get confused which year they did what. But in 2005, they had already made the changes.
Mm-hmm.
But before we talk about those changes, I wanted to mention something for the benefit of our audience. Don't blame the Saudi government because this is an overwhelming thing. And they have always been very good at what they did. Whether the Hajj and those who visit noticed it or not, they don't realize what it's like to put 3 to 5 million people in an area that ordinarily only has, the whole city is only 20, 25,000 people, I think, in those days. Mm-hmm. So you can't imagine what kind of facility that you've got to come up with to facilitate, I'm saying. When the place goes not 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more, because you're going into the millions. It's just phenomenal what they have to deal with. Food, water, shelter, just the basic things before anybody's even trying to do anything. And then when you're talking about these religious rituals, people don't ordinarily go out every day and throw stones at something, right? And certainly you've got a big problem when you go into these different languages. How many different languages do you think there are when people go for Hajj?
I think over 100. Easy. Because you have people from every single country in the world.
Actually, I've been told it's closer to 200 languages.
Mm-hmm. And you cannot communicate
So how
with them.
could you put a sign up in every language? And then what you run into, even if you did, which you can't, there are so many people who come that are farmers from backwoods places that really don't read. Mm-hmm. And from those who do read, there's a lot who don't pay attention.
Right.
And they're all caught up in what they're doing, and they don't get it. You get a big stop sign up there in English, and you still got people that speak English walking right by it, just not paying attention. So when this many people all at one time are going to do the same thing, and I've seen this from the very first day that I went there, the government has always had people there to direct, to try to help. But then you run into these people who get belligerent And they want to fight against them. Who are you? Don't tell me. I'm in Hajj. And these guys are going, I don't even know what this guy's saying. He's speaking Balujistan stuff or something. I don't know what he's saying, you know. And I just know my job is to put you over here. It's for your good. And the guy's hitting at him, and he's going, hey, man, come on, just go over here. It's for your good. But because of the communication problem and this attitude that so many people walk in over there, they think these guys are trying to push us around. And I wish that people knew how much those guys really respect the Hajj.
Right, but also we have to say the truth. Also, I think it works both ways because, you know, just going there a few times and observing, you know, the situation. I think there are mistakes definitely on the part of the Hajjaj, those who do not take that time to learn Hajj, the etiquettes of Hajj, you know, the way how you should perform rituals according to the Sunnah, and that sakinah that you should have serenity and peace, you know, from going to mansak to another, or basic from one ritual to another. And on the other hand, also have to admit, I mean, the Saudi government is doing a lot.
You threw a word in there that some of the viewers are going to go, what did he say? Mansak.
Yeah, ritual.
Tell us, what is mansak in English?
Mansak is a ritual.
Going from one ritual to the next.
Yep. So at the same time, also I see there are definitely a lot to be that could be done by the Saudi government also, to be also, you know, just observing all of this. There are definitely a lot of, you know, things that the Saudi government could do to facilitate Hajj in a better manner.
One of the biggest, I think, most noticeable of the changes, they did some huge things, no doubt, but the most noticeable one with the biggest effect of all was what they did with the Jamarat.
Definitely, this is a huge,
that's the most notable. Putting in the levels was their first stages. They thought by putting in the levels that it would help. And I went there in about 2002, something like that, for one of the times. And when we went at that time, who was the mutawaf for this? And he was showing us to go around to the opposite side. Let me show you. I'm going to demonstrate something using this mug right here and get free publicity for Guidus TV at the same time. But they had like this surrounding. Then in the center would be this thing sticking out like that. You know, it would look kind of like that. And then you throw your pebbles at that. Well, the people would all come from this direction. They would be coming this way. And as soon as they threw their pebbles, they'd want to turn around, go right back into it. Well, they would try to get the people to go around. They wouldn't do it. They no, I want to go back the way I came. I don't want to get lost. But that's where the problem comes. 10,000 at a time coming forward. 20,000. 30,000 coming at the same time.
Each other.
And they start, and some of the people saying, oh, I can't get up close, so I'll throw it from here. And then they're throwing the stone on top of the guy's head.
Right, it happened to me actually. I got stoned so badly that I can never forget.
He said, I wasn't doing zina. I'm not going to translate that. Just keep going, act like I didn't say it, okay? Anyway, I can't believe I said that. Anyhow, here's the post that these people are stoning this thing. But our mutawaf, he took us around the other side. He said, okay, now look, they're coming at you now, but you're over here. You can throw your pebbles. I could lay my arm on the edge of it and relax and throw my pebbles. He said, now we turn and we go out this way. But it wasn't set up yet, perfect, so we had to kind of go around here and there and get your way back to your camp. And we had to follow him. He had to hold up an umbrella real high so we could see where he was. And we also went at certain times of the night when the least number was there. And people used to come and say, okay, is it safe yet? You know, how many people are there now? Don't go now. They would say, don't go now. It'll be better at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, they would, for whatever reason, everybody's saying 2 o'clock will be good. 2 o'clock. When? 2 o'clock. Yeah, we'll go at 2 o'clock. So the whole entire camp at Mina is saying 2 o'clock in the morning. So they all get up. Here you go again. 400,000 people is done at 2 o'clock in the morning. Same problem. So they'd be coming at this thing and going back and singing. But you know how they overcame it? It was so beautiful. They finally got these levels set up. They finally got the walkway out, so it made a huge circle. You come in here through these, and then you go on out. Plus, they made places where the guards could help the people and
It's
get them
only
through.
one way. You cannot turn around.
You cannot turn around. It's a one-way street. Then you come up on this, but it's different. Now I'm going to turn the cup and show you. So they made it so it's like this.
Yeah, the pillar actually became so wide.
Yeah, and then what they did, by the way, they did all of this under the instruction of the scholars. All of the things they did, every single thing they kept checking with scholars. Is this okay in Islam before we make any changes? Now, when they did this, then they made it so this is so far away that the closer place for you to get here was here. But if you came up at this point and it was pointed toward you, you'd rather come around over here to throw at it. So when you're coming this way, so you want to go over here, and anywhere along there you could throw it. It was easy. And still, by the way, at this end, it's still easier. Still, just come around this end. And
It's actually the easiest part.
And then go on to the next one. Now, in the first go-around, there's only one stoning you do. That's the first go-around. Then later you come to the three. You do the askar, the small one. You do the akbar, the big one. And so when you're going to do all of them, then it makes it so simple, you know. But even if you do the one, but then you got to have guards there telling you don't throw stones at the next one. It's not time for that yet.
They help you a lot.
A couple of quick things we want to talk about stoning the Jamarat. I'd like to mention that maybe some people, they don't know it. You can pick the pebbles up from any place. So many people think they have to pick up the pebbles when they're coming from Muzdalifah, you know, the night of Arafat, and when it becomes dark, and then they go to Muzdalifah. So many people think they got to get them from out there. I don't know where they got that idea.
Actually, it's definitely desirable to do so, but we cannot say it's the only way of doing it, because it's mentioned the Sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ picked up actually those Jamarat from Muzdalifah. However, the misconception that people do have is that unless it's from Muzdalifah, then it's not valid.
And the second thing is, they want to wash them after they get them.
Right. They want to wash them, want to clean them, and all that.
Yeah, they want to be sure they got real clean stones to throw at the devil. If you're really throwing something at the devil, why would you want to clean it first?
Actually,
I don't know.
You're right. You know, that's a good point, because, you know, like 90% of the Hajjaj, they believe that they are stoning the devil. 90% of them.
Yeah, well, the story, of course, we know that what happened for the whole thing to start with, and I think we can end our program with this, is mentioned that Abraham, peace be upon him, was being tempted by the devil because of the dream that he had to sacrifice his son. And he was thinking that, I think it was allegorical, that Allah wants me to sacrifice my son by leaving him and his mother at that place. But just in case it's for real, and I really do have to sacrifice him, like you would sacrifice an animal. So he's laying him out like it would be a sheep, and he's actually going to put the blade to him. And according to the Bible, it just said that a sheep or a ram came in the scene, and Allah sent that, and he slaughtered it. But we know that he actually put the blade onto his son's neck.
To cut his neck, but it wouldn't cut.
But it wouldn't cut. And his son even said, what's going on? And he said, I have to do this. He said, from Allah? And he said, yeah. He said, you'll find me patient. So he put it, and it wouldn't cut. And that's when Allah sent the ram in and did it. But along the way, one of the things was that he was being tempted by the devil. Oh, man, it's allegorical. You don't have to do that. He took a stone, throws it. Boom, 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 boom. And this is where it came from. Then the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is just clarifying to us, showing us in the general direction, right in here, right over here. Somebody puts posts in there. Somebody else want to decorate them up a little bit. And the next thing you know, people are thinking, oh, the shaitan is tied to that. You just can't see him.
Yeah.
And you're hitting the shaitan. And they get all excited. And finally, we should mention this, kind of wrapping it up, is that some people even took their shoes off, and they were throwing their shoes at that post, and you're going, hold on, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to get that devil.
Yeah, and actually some people take off their belt, and they go and keep slapping the pillar, and you're the one who divorced me from my wife, you're the one who did this to me, you're the one who tempted me. I keep slap the pillar. So many funny stories like that.
I wish we could keep going, but guess what? That's the end of this episode. And until the next time we can be together, remember us here and about
Hajj.
Hajj. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Yeah, I know that that's
فشكور يا الله لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك